I'm going to review the entire system that we use to actually add an extra $50,000 a month into our client's business. Now, you've been lied to, if you think you need to run ads to hit 50K months. Well, the reality is you don't need ads. You don't need to even do cold outreach to hit 50K a month. What you actually need is a proper system. Now, why should you trust me on what I'm saying? Well, as you can see over here, here's some big things I've collected just last month, right? And this is for my business. So again, $13,000 cash collected. And I've also helped my client generate over $100,000 in client results. And one of my best clients, Aaron, I helped him go from $2,000 a month to 24K a month in 27 days. And this was exactly through everything I'm going to teach you today. Now, if you look, you might be asking, like, how did I actually achieve this entire thing? Well, the entire thing was simply due to the AI acquisition ecosystem. And that's the exact thing I'm just going to review to you guys in this entire video. That's the entire infrastructure I'm revealing to you that allowed me to get results like these and scale my clients past $25,000 a month in less than 30 days. Other than that, I'm also worked with 90K a month info business owners like Max in-house. And I've been coached by people like Sam Millsap who are making $500,000 a month. Now, you may be asking, like, does this entire AI acquisition ecosystem, like, it all sounds good, but does it actually work? Well, let me just tell you something, right? You've probably tried boosting posts. You've probably already run ads in the past. But what that did was you actually burned cash. You did not make money. You just burnt it. You posted every single day, but it just felt like when you're talking to a camera, it just feels like an empty room. You think you need fancy funnels, like a fancy VSL funnel or a fancy landing page. But the thing is, you can't even book a simple sales call. Now, you're stuck in what I like to call the content hamster wheel, which is posting just to stay visible, posting just to get clout, posting just for the views. And you see all these gurus online are telling you just to run ads, these CRA ads, but you have no system that allows you to convert the traffic from those ads. Even if you did get insane amount of traffic, you get insane ROAS. You had no system in place to actually convert the traffic. Now, the reality is you don't have a traffic problem. It's just a foundation problem, right? And what this all leads to is it all leads to your entire system and your entire business just failing down. That's the reason you're actually not making the money you would like to be making, right? Which could be 50 to 100K a month. And you see, most coaches try to scale before they know exactly how to sell consistently. And they're just chasing cold audiences, but they ignore the gold mines just sitting in their DMs right now. And that's the exact problem which I see with a lot of info owners, a lot of coaches online in this space. And I'm going to break the entire thing down using my 5 different sprints, which we actually implement in our client's business to get them instant results such as these I've just showed you up here. So the first sprint we actually implement is the onboarding sprint. Now, this is a pretty simple, pretty generic. You probably already know what onboarding is, but you have to have this inside your program. And it's basically, the whole point of this is to get the member, your client, onboarded onto the program. Now, we do this in our case where you complete certain action steps, such as completing a contract, onboarding form, offer worksheet, joint communication channels, CRM, and onboarding call. Now, the entire end goal of Sprint 1 is to actually get you onboarded into the program and get the CSM working. Now, if you want to join the program, click the second link in the description. We're taking applications right now. You can book in a call to see if we're both a good fit to working together. Now, that's the sprint, just like a high-level overview of like just the onboarding section. Now, the first, this is where we're actually going to cover some value and actually just get really, really saucy and, just taking your entire business apart and actually start implementing systems into your business. Now, sprint 1 is basically principles. Now, this is, you can say, the most driest part of the entire sprint, but this is, again, one of the most crucial parts. And if this is not nailed, you're not going to make money in your business. So again, sprint 1 is to get ultra clear on the foundations, because if you're not clear on the foundations, you're not going to make any money online. So examples of getting clear on the foundations are basically, first off, who you serve, your niche, your tangible offer, and the transformation you promise. Once you have those 4 things done, that's when we can move on to the next stage. But look, it sounds pretty simple, but there's more hidden stuff behind the scenes which we actually have to do. And just a rule of thumb I like to go by is, look, if you can't explain your offer in 1 sentence, you can't sell it. That's the whole point of this. We're going to make your offer so dialed in, so niche down that people are just going to listen to your offer and be like, man, I want to buy this offer, right? That's how powerful we're going to make it. Now, what else actually needs to be done in this sprint, which we're actually going to implement into your business, is to set up your IG ecosystem. We're going to build your high-ticket offer out to actually make it irresistible. We're going to use social proof optimization across different platforms. Now, this is a special mechanism me and my client, me and my business partner have come up with. And this is basically a really unique way to actually leverage your social proof. Now, I know so many people when they get a testimonial, when they get a case study, they either make a YouTube video on it or they post Instagram story sequences about it. And both of those ways, yes, they do work, but we have a better way of doing that. That actually, look, you get a client good results. Now it's going to come back and it's going to be a loop. We actually implement your business. That's going to get you 3, 4, 5, 6 more clients simply from getting one client insane results. Now imagine you had 10 clients. You got each, let's say you got 8 of them insane results. You get 16 clients simply by getting 8 clients good results. So you see that loop and it just keeps repeating itself. And again, most of this is done through the social proof optimization. And we make sure it's across all different platforms and leveraging all your audiences. Next thing is we're going to be delivering a market ready service. So we're going to actually help you come up with a market ready service, which you can present to your clients, you can present to your leads on a sales call, and they're going to instantly close. Next thing is to actually get your team set up in the ecosystem, because without a team, there's no ecosystem. You need a proper ecosystem in place. Now, again, we're going to be setting up your entire pricing structure as well, because if your pricing structure is messed up, you can be making like 10 times less money. Think of it this way. Imagine you're pricing your service as $1,000 for a 90-day program. Now, you could instantly 5x your prices to $5,000. Yes, your close rate would be dropping by, I would say, 20%, but you're going to be making way more money. Look, with $1,000 offer, you might be getting more clients, but you're not necessarily making more money. You're having more workload, you have more stress, and you have more clients to deal with, and they're going to be lower quality because they're only paying you $1,000. Now, think of it this way. If someone pays you $5,000, all you need is one client to actually make up for the 5 $1,000 clients. And then again, it's going to be less work, it's going to be less stress for you, and it's going to be a higher quality simply because they paid you more money. They're going to be more inclined to actually, they're just a high quality in general. But the more money they give you, the higher quality the client is. They're going to have less objections, and they're just going to work. They're just going to listen to what you say. And that's just some part of the pricing structure. And we're also going to be teaching you how you can take equity in other people's businesses simply just like this. Take equity in the business. Like imagine just taking 20% of my business, right? You'll be making absolute bank. Now, next thing is just setting up some fundamental systems. Now, I'm not going to go more in detail, but these are just like really general systems which we actually set up in the business, which is going to make it run in the future. And one final thing which is really, really important is messaging mastery, because if you don't have messaging dialed in your content and your offer, in your sales calls, even in just like all the content you're putting out, if you don't have your messaging dialed in, you're not going to attract the right type of leads and you're not going to get buyers coming in. So the entire end goal of Sprint 1 is to basically build your entire high ticket offer plus refine your messaging so you're actually ready for the launch, which is going to be part of Sprint 2. Now, if we move all the way over, and now we move on to Sprint 2. Sprint 2 is just basically the launch. Now, what are we going to do in here? We're basically just going to print a load of money in your business. Now, what this is basically it's one made high ticket launch. Keep it simple, one main high ticket launch, and the goal is to just get early cash wins, because when we get early cash wins, again, it motivates clients and it just gives them the food to keep going, and we can then use money, reinvest it back into the business in certain systems and certain aspects of the business, which can refuel its growth, and it's going to be a much better investment than running ads. Now, what this is basically we guarantee you that, guys, $30,000 in 21 days. This is the absolute minimum, right? Now, how do we do this? Well, first off, we do it through a market validation sequence. We run a hype sequence and then a launch sequence. Now, look, it might sound pretty simple, but the messaging and crafting behind this, like each step along the way, is very well manufactured by us. So an example of this could be, we help you launch a high-ticket coaching job via Instagram stories, and we're going to get you 10 buys at $3,000. That's just an example. We might get you 10 buys at $5,000, meaning we're surpassing this $30,000. We're getting you $50,000, right? So you're going to be making $50,000 the next 21 days working together. Now, how can we do this? Well, basically, we handle all the stuff on the back end, such as the high-ticket offer build-out. We handle the Instagram IG story sequence plus creative, which is arguably one of the most important parts in this entire section, because when the IG story sequence is actually dialed in, that's when you make the most amount of money. Next thing is the landing page and the VSL. Again, this is where most of the conversion happens. If you have a good landing page and a good VSL, now I'm saying a really complicated, really like advanced funnel, it just has to be simple. Speak to one audience, present one solution with one offer. That's it. Next thing is the program and community builder. So that's going to be the entire backend operations, which is going to be part of the next step, but we have to prepare for it in this step. Now, the end goal is to cash collect 30,000 minimum. This is the bare minimum we're going to collect for you. And if you don't believe me, just examples of some guys we've done for, so $27,000. So we actually ran the high ticket launch for Aaron at the end of the month. So next month he actually made way more money. So we actually collected $40,000 in total simply from the high ticket launch. And again, for Ismail, again, he sent me a message. It's like he's sending me messages every other day. He's got another high ticket sale, got another $5,000 USD sale. That's like 7,000 Australian dollars. That's like He's just printing money simply because of this sprint 2 phase. He's gone through the entire thing. Both of these clients have implemented it, and as you can see, the results just speak for themselves. And that's sprint 2 done. Now we move on to sprint 3, which is actually the ascension funnel. Now, think of it this way. Without an ascension funnel, your growth is going to be capped. You can make 50K once every 2 months, which is not ideal, right? You're going to be scaling past $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month. Now, an example of this, what we actually do in your business is build basically a low ticket plus a free offer that complements the high ticket. And what this basically means is every sale you get into the low ticket is going to be basically a high ticket sale. It's going to be part of the process. Now, the entire thing, again, is completely automated by us once it's set up. Now, the goal of this is to expand this to 90% of your audience. So 90% of your audience should be aware of this, and they should have somewhat clicked on the page or bought from you. Now, after the high ticket drop, which was sprint 2, now again in sprint 3, we're going to do social proof / authority infrastructure. Again, a really well manufactured system or infrastructure we have set up in your business to allow you to create some sort of loop which gets you clients over and over again. Now, not for high ticket clients, but low ticket clients, because we have an ascension funnel which ascends these low ticket clients to high ticket clients. We have a feedback loop to fuel momentum. We build a low ticket for free community to essentially capture more leads, nurture and upsell them to your high ticket offer. Now, what we actually do is we actually help you design the entire ascension funnel end to end. Right? We're going to basically build the entire ascension funnel out for you and just make sure the entire thing's automated, because we know you're going to be spending too much time on your business. We take most of that time and we build the entire thing out for you, as well as a waitlist system. And this is masterly crafted to actually fuel demand. So we're going to have doors open and doors closed, and people will be as soon as you open the doors, they're going to go straight in, right? Again, it's urgency. It's going to create urgency. Now, the end goal of this is to build recurring monthly income plus a community of people that are wanting to buy right now. That's the entire point of the free community. Now, just some results for themselves. As you can see, Taylor going crazy at $30,000 last month. He's getting consistent $1,000 a day simply from the low ticket to high ticket ascension funnel. Again, just printing normal. This guy is sending me screenshots every single day of just sales he's making, right? It's crazy how it works. And then Ismail, again, another $800 low ticket sale. 800 to some guys might be so much money, but it's a low ticket sale for our clients because these guys are getting it every single day because they have the entire system set up. That's exactly what we set you up. Either you can stay broke, sell just high ticket, like you can sell high ticket, or what you can do is actually adopt our mechanism and adopt the ascension funnel to actually build recurring income into your business. That's going to get you recurring high ticket buyers. And that is sprint 3 done. Now, sprint 4 is going to be the final sprint we're going to actually implement in your business. And this is going to be the sauciest and most juiciest one. And that's going to be AI solutions and automations. Now, what we actually do in here is we basically leverage our own AI backend software / tools to build the entire thing out. So an example of what we could do is basically custom AI agents 24/7 for custom use cases. Now, the goal of this is to actually automate plus scale client acquisition and actually take it to the next level. Now, look, after we implement the ascension funnel, which is right here, we implement AI plus automate to smooth and delegate your entire outbound system. We get outbound VAs plus setters, and we manage them completely for you, so you don't have to worry about the entire thing. We have an AI DM software that manages all the leads coming through inbound, plus that setter that kicks in to book the call. That's going to be all inside the ecosystem. We have a custom AI agent. We have an AI landing page plus a VSL build, which is going to be really, really high converting. We have automated lead nurturing plus follow-up systems. We have automated ascension funnel systems. And then the most juiciest and sauciest part is the AI content ecosystem. Now, inside of this, we basically craft content around brand messaging. We repurpose and redistribute it to different platforms to get your name out there. And then we basically generate you inbound leads like what I have for one of my clients. Again, they launched an inbound campaign simply for AI on Instagram, and they print leads ASAP. Like if you look at this, a couple minutes ago, 56 minutes ago, 4 minutes ago, 2 minutes ago, 2 minutes ago, now. My clients are sending me these screenshots like every other day, and simply because they have the right system set up in their business, which we do for all our clients. Now, the end goal is to automate your entire business so you can only focus on what matters the most. Now, if the entire thing actually seems pretty appealing to you and you think this can actually help you scale your business, click the second link in the description to actually book in a one-to-one implementation call where we actually diagnose your business a bit further. Or you could just say, we just see if we're just a good fit to working together, and if we are, then we'll scale the shit out of your business. Talk to you soon.